Welcome, everyone, to this June Public Speakers Association Virtual Summit. It's good to have everyone here. I'm really excited about our speaker lineup. We have a lot of great speakers. Our next speaker is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and he's one of the foremost authorities in business and personal development today. In his over 3 decades of sales, marketing, and entrepreneurial experience, Paul has moved over $20 million in estate transactions, sold over 30 million in informational products, and ran over 250 live events. He has worked with some of the best known speakers in the world to take their events to the next level and coached entrepreneurs and small business owners from around the world to build their businesses and create an abundant future for them all. When you desire a real difference in your personal or financial world, crave a strategic game plan, or looking to build a great team and maximize your income dramatically, in the next 12 months, Paul Finck is the Maverick for you. So, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, it's all yours.
Hello, Brian, and everyone else that's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to be here. I've been uh, actively on the stages for PSA for, I think it's been 10 years now, which I predate Brian. So it's definitely one of my great communities that I tap into that has given me so much over the years. So really happy to be able to give back and to be here for everybody. Um, One of the key components that in speaking, coaching, training, and one of the biggest challenges that people have is monetization. Ray was just talking about getting the word out, getting the name out there, getting some buzz factor moving, and top of that, the next step of that is, and I've seen people do this, is where they have a ton of people driving to their doorstep, if you will, and they still struggle. They still don't have the ability to put two nickels together, if you will. And, I'm a firm believer in understanding the psychology of process. My background's in clinical psychology. It's where I started. I went on and studied neurolinguistic programming and hypnotherapy and really understanding the human condition. And then we get into the speaker world, and there's so many people that are great coaches, and they're leading with their heart and their emotions and helping people. There's also this business side that we've got to pay attention to, because the dollars still make everything move forward. The dollars still, and especially in our society, create the magic where we can help more people, where we can bring our message out there, and we can make more happen based on our focus, our purpose, our causes, and create more. So the real question is how? What is this whole concept of monetization, of business structures and systems, of pricing? And so one of the things I want to bring to the table is some of the psychology of pricing in our matrix here. And it's something that I find doesn't get talked about enough. Most people get into coaching, speaking, training world, and they're told, man, just give out enough stuff. Just give out enough stuff. Give out enough stuff free and watch what happens. Everybody's going to come running to your doorstep. The challenge is that most people start out that way. Only few people gravitate to the next level. They're not taught how to actually create an exchange of value. An exchange of value where I'm giving something to you and you're giving something back to me. That's how every business survives and thrives, is with this exchange of value. What does that look like? It means that I'm giving out product and service and you're giving me money. And as basic as that is. So then the question is, are my products and services that I'm giving out creating the exchange of value where I'm receiving enough money, enough actual cash value to not only pay for the core bills, but then to actually have any sort of lifestyle or freedom in my life to continue the business. And that's where some of the challenge comes in, is people get just enough. They get an equal exchange of value, but it's not really. Because here's what happens. People pay you if you're struggling. What's happening is people are paying you less than your value, or based on your core costs, not based on your perceived value. And so the value that you're giving into their life is much greater than the value of what they're paying you. And that's where most people end up. That's where the struggle comes in. So one is, we've got to understand what the value is of what we're delivering, and create a price tag that is equivalent or greater than that. And there's a couple things that I'll share with you in some understanding techniques and values. And I'm actually going to share my screen. And I've got just another few moments. So I'm going to run through some things really quickly, and then offer up for you to be able to talk with me and have a additional conversation with me. So if you want a consult, if you could put into, actually, I'll put it in the chat right now. And so the psychology of pricing, the maverickuniverse.com, you'll see that there. And that'll bring you to be able to download this PowerPoint that I'm going to bring up in just a moment. And so you'll get this for you to be able to peruse and take a look at in more detail, as well as to be able to get a consult with me so that we can spend a little time together and talk about how this applies into your life. So let me make sure I've got the right presentation here. And I'm going to whiz through some things real quickly. Is pricing important? Of course it is. Your revenue, your branding, your growth, your scalability, everything boils down to how you have this exchange of value. It affects how you're going to sell, how much you're going to sell, where you sell. And I've been doing this, by the way, I've been an entrepreneur for over 38 years now. I've owned multiple different distribution companies, real estate investor for 22 years, over 200 speaking and training now for 18 years. Beautiful wife is my love of my life. She's been with me we started dating 36 years ago. I've got 6 children, 3 sets of twins, which is a whole nother level on why I do what I do. It started off because, man, I was propelled to create more in my life. And that's what so much of my motivation, and hanging out with some great people and spending time all around the world to create more. Let me get to the heart of it. Charm pricing. Understand that the attraction factor of pricing is important. And so, is there a difference between $3 and $2.99, or $2.99 versus $3? Is there a difference between $7.95 versus $7.97? Yes, there is. And some of the charm pricing, 9, 5, and 7, are actually key numbers to end all of your pricing with. One of the key components, without going into all the details, and there's a real science behind all this, only recognize that if you go into a Walmart, you go into Target, you go into Costco, and you look at all their pricing and it's not ending in 00, maybe, just maybe, there's a reason. So all the science, all the psychology, all the studies have been proven, and the big boys play in this arena. Play in the big boy arena. Stop ending all your pricing in 00. Utilize the science of using a 9, a 5, or a 7 to create more in your sales process. It's actually perceived tremendously less than 1 cent to go $2.99 versus $3. Anchor pricing is really key. This is what I love in pricing. Anchor pricing means that whatever price you start with, whatever price you present, that's the price that people are going to judge everything else by. You want perceived pricing? Perceived pricing means if I say my product, whatever product it is, my product, it's worth $5,000 or $4,975. Only today and today only over the next hour, because I love you, because there's so many, and there's always a because, I can give it to you for $2,497. Who here is in? Anchor pricing is the first pricing I mentioned, and you're judging how big a deal it is based on the first price I mentioned, which was the $5,000 price tag. If I had mentioned, well, normally I sell it for 1,000, but today you can get it for $2,497, you might have a different perception about that price of $2,497. So for all your presentations, all your websites, every place that you print out pricing of any sort, have an anchor price that everything else gets compared to. Package pricing, absolutely. Anybody that's still charging by the hour, I want you to scrap it now. Find a way so that you're not exchanging time for money. Package pricing is some of the answer to that. Decoy pricing, less attractive options makes other options look better. So you can go too high or too little with decoy pricing. And what that means is that you can have something, and what in the speaker world, we've done this a ton, is create programs that are way over the top. Listen, I've got clients that are paying me $100,000. They work with me exclusively, and we change their world to create millions. For some of you, that may be a little over the top. So today I've got a special program just for you for $9,997. The decoy was the $100,000 pricing. So it was way over the top. And so something that thus it's not attractive, something that's more within your scope, you'll jump at that more readily because of the decoy. Prestige pricing, price that dictates value. One of the key components in pricing, and I'm running through these things really quickly to get some of your brain stimulated. What I would recommend is that you go to the link that we put into the chat and you absolutely go and take advantage of what I have for you in a one-on-one. And we'll talk more in detail about this one-on-one time and what we can do. Price dictates value. $5,000. Well, a Rolls Royce usually costs $300,000 to $500,000. If I say it's $5,000, I've got my Rolls Royce parked out back. Would you go and grab, oh man, that's a great deal? Or would you go, wait a second. It's got no engine, right? It's a toy Rolls Royce. What's the deal? You would be dubious about it because the price and what you would perceive the value of the product to be don't match. Oftentimes, you are pricing yourself out of the marketplace. You are pricing yourself so low, thinking, well, if I want more customers, let me give a low price and they'll run to me. No, they'll distrust you because they don't believe that you can deliver what you're offering at that price. And so they'll run from you rather than run towards you, even as you discount your price more and more. So be aware. Bundle pricing, selling baskets rather than a la carte. Sell a grouping of products together, you'll do better. Buy one, get one. There's another way of increasing your value, your volume of sales, increasing the perception of value, and another tactic of bundling. Penetration pricing. This is where you go really low to attract the lead and then you upsell them into other products. Valued pricing, value created versus cost of goods sold. Oftentimes, And I hear contractors do this often. They'll do price plus. So whatever it's going to cost plus a certain amount of percentage upsell or increase in the price. And they're always going by cost of goods. Price your products according to what value you bring to the other person's life. That will create more for you and more for them. And there's some science around that that we can go into in the call. Tiered pricing, magic of three, top down versus bottom up also is an equation of this. Tiered pricing. I've got one price that's 1,000, another price that's 3,000, another price that's 5,000, and you can tier your pricing. And there's some science around how to do that in the coaching world. That's highly recommended. In the speaker world, to have multiple different programs that are tiered. The science of how to put that together, I would love to talk to you further. And founder pricing. Almost every program that I've come up with and that I would recommend for you to come up with as you launch it, actually have founder pricing with a anchor price mentioned. Well, our normal price is going to be $10,000, but today and over the next 30 days, we're going to be cultivating our beta pricing, our founder list. And so if you want to be a founding member today, it'll be $2,000. And you can do components to really build up a quick list to create some attraction factor. It's that intro pricing. Couple of people that I've helped with their coaching. Demi's been with me for the last couple of years, and she has developed from zero, scratch that, almost less than zero in building up a coaching business to create an initial product of 5,000. We then built it to 7,000, then to 12,000, and it kept going. And now she's got her program at $25,000. She has created over $500,000 in the last couple of years, and is at that level on an annual basis in income. Jen Duplessis is another one. Over the first couple months of working with her, we created over $70,000 in her coaching business in new streams of income, and over 200,000 in the last 7 months. Been also developing. We've got openings now for our publishing of our book. I've been in magazines. I've got my podcast, movies coming out. We also have a great tech division if you're interested in knowing how to promote your products and services, how to promote yourself and have a really understanding technology and in building funnels and websites. We also have a tech division that are focused on that. Have a nonprofit and my live events all around the country. And I'm going to flip through a couple things because I want to get to the last. Oh. And there is it here. Oh, I thought we had it in here. There we go. This is maverickgift.com. If you go to maverickgift.com, you'll be able to grab hold of get hold of what I put in the chat. The link is also in the chat. So go ahead and do that. If everyone's got access to the chat, that would be great. And I'm going to unshare. Did a whole lot in a short period of time. Guys, absolute pleasure. Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. You want to monetize, you want to increase your scope of what you're doing, you want to expand everything that you're doing in your speaking, coaching, business world. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a chat. Let's spend a little time together. How we doing, Brian?
We're doing good. We have like a minute and a half. If
Beautiful.
anyone has a question.
Hi,
Dory, go
Paul.
ahead.
I've heard you speak a few times and I truly appreciate your presentation. I'm just wondering, with all this running for the money or making the money and teaching others how to make the money, do you volunteer, like with 6 children that you raised, happy life, happy wife? Do you have time to volunteer to help others that are in need? And what do you volunteer doing?
Um, yes, and one of the things to that's counterintuitive is that because I know how to charge my value, because I've built up multiple different businesses that have both passive and active incomes, I've got more time, not less. And that's one of the things that most people struggle with when they first get started is they're like, oh, well, I want to give back. Yeah, but you have no time to give back. You're barely surviving yourself. There's the old adage, put the mask on yourself and then you can, when the plane's going down, put the oxygen mask on yourself and then you can actually help others. So yes, and I've got a nonprofit and we're focused on educating children in all that I do in both mindset work as well as in business structures and systems, in helping our high school and junior high levels where we're at now. We just started this nonprofit about a year ago, and creating some magic in that training for all the people that don't have access to this and don't have parents like my children have had, in helping them develop great lives. And so that's one of my dedications. And I got to tell you, we scholarship programs regularly. All I want to say every month, only I look to be completely accurate. Almost every month, we end up scholarshiping people into our programs to help them out. Because I find people that are right at that brink, and I'm there to support no matter what. So in a lot of different ways, both hands-on within the company as well as externally with children, are some of my biggest passions.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Yeah, monetization and money, the focus of that creates that freedom. And that's a message that is not talked about enough. And so many people look at, oh man, the people that don't have, all too often, they look at anyone that's created money, and anyone that's created money has had a focus on creating money. Things just don't happen in your life, or they will lose it. It's one of the biggest things. Anybody that wins the lottery, the stats are most people are bankrupt within 3 to 5 years because they never learned how to manage it. They never learned how to really accept money into their life, and so they lose it very readily. Anybody that's got money has learned to cultivate it, has learned to be a steward of it. But that then gives you the freedom to be able to give it and to share it freely, and gives you the power to be able to move within your realm. My wife and my family, with my children, we travel nonstop. It's what we've been able to develop. And with that, all my children now that are adults, my youngest is 22, my oldest is 28. So between 22 and 28 years old, there's 6 of them. They're all influencers in their marketplace. They're all leaders. And so, that alone, one of my best testimonials is my children, is we build this understanding of stepping up and helping our society, stepping up and being a leader for the world, which is so in need of that right now.
All right. Sorry, Paul. We actually went longer than I wanted to. So
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys.
We gotta move on.
Share the link. Let me know if anybody needs anything, and I'm here. Thank you so much.